There are two quick issues I want to update everyone on today. The first one are some actions by EPA that tie in with some work that our congressional delegation's done, and that is more work to allow for year-round E15 or higher blends of ethanol than what currently we have at the pump at E10. On the EPA side of things, Administrator Zeldin announced that 8 states, including Nebraska, were granted a waiver that allowed for E15 to be used during summer months. Now, to understand why that was needed, you have to go a long way back. When ethanol was first coming to the marketplace, there was some outdated science that said that ethanol caused increase in smog during warmer months or summer months. That has now since been defunct, and so Congress as well as the EPA have gone back and forth to try to work through and come up with a final solution to allow for E15 use to be able to be used year-round. And so the actions by the EPA tie really nicely in with legislation that both Senator Fisher and Congressman Adrian Smith, along with the rest of the delegation, co-sponsored, that allows for E15 usage year-round. A federal legislative solution needs to take place, and so that's why we are very grateful, specifically for Senator Fisher, Congressman Smith, for introducing legislation that would grant and allow a permanent year-round E15 fix for all of the country. Now, the other issue I want to update on is some work that has been done on the USDA side of things, and more specifically, there's been a large federal freeze in funding that folks have had a lot of questions on as to how that impacts certain USDA programs. More importantly, programs funded under the Inflation Reduction Act, a piece of legislation that was passed a number of years ago. However, that piece of legislation added new funding to existing Farm Bill programs that we all know, the EQIP program, the CSP program. Both of those programs had some additional funding that was put in place by the Inflation Reduction Act, and that is the funding that was frozen for a period of time. Now, just at the end of last week, Secretary Brooke Rollins did announce that she was going to release the first $20 million of that funding back into producers. Some producers may have received letters from USDA telling them that program funding was frozen. She has released the first round of that. There's more to do. There's a lot more funding under those programs that will need to be released, but ultimately, Secretary Rollins making good on her promise to review all funding programs, making sure producers who have signed contracts have the ability to receive that funding. Again, ultimately, we understand the goals of the president. We understand the goals of the secretary, really across the federal government, to put a handle and get a grip on federal spending. At the same time, if a producer has a contract with the federal government, we believe that the federal government should honor that and pay those producers. So really, both on the EPA side, on the E15 side of things, and also in USDA, a lot of things happening. There's a lot more happening on the federal side. We'll try to keep members as updated as we can in the weeks ahead.